Mercedes' big announcement about the W15. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video. And if you want more Mercedes news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Mercedes claims the Mercedes W15 will be stronger in 2024 using valuable information from the W14. Mercedes dominated the sport of Formula One for 8 consecutive years, from 2014 to 2021. Besides the occasional challenge from Red Bull and Ferrari, no team on the grid could come close to challenging them. But after the introduction of new regulations in 2022, they dropped down the order to become the 3rd best team on the grid, and in 2023, they are the 2nd best side. Insufficient downforce and imbalance alongside some other issues have made the W14 a poorly developed ride. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell did not have enough confidence to enter high-speed corners with it. Hence, the team has already started working on W15, addressing the issues with the current challenger. Now, Mick Schumacher, the reserve driver at Mercedes, has come forward, claiming that they will get back to challenging for wins in 2024 with the new car. Schumacher said that he drove a lot on the simulator, which was helpful for data on the car. Although it was mostly the W14, it could be important information that the team might need for the W15, he said, as reported by motorsport.com. Although I drove the most with the W14, there are also many things that we can use in the future. After the culmination of the European season for Schumacher, he participated in the sessions with Mercedes. He said the sessions were tiring, but they were helpful since they provided useful information for the team. The German driver pointed out, "Those sessions were tiring, but it is valuable to see what the result is." He also added that there is still a lot of work to do regarding the development of the car, but he reassured his confidence in the team's ability to design a championship-winning vehicle again for the next season. Andrew Chauvelin, trackside engineering director at Mercedes, has expressed the team's determination to achieve remarkable improvements regarding the performance of W15. He also added that there are a lot of projects underway at the moment for the currently developing W15. Toto Wolff, team principal at Mercedes, also commented on the car's development. He said the team will go back to basics with the W15. Wolff also said they have already decided on adding only the changes that they really understand and keeping aside the stuff that is out of their understanding. The updates the team brings to the current W14 mid-season are also useful for the car. They started gaining quick points with the car and extended the points disparity with the 3rd standing team, Ferrari, quickly. With 5 more races left this season, Mercedes' development crew is all on their toes for the best results. The second story is Toto Wolff claims the Mercedes W14 is quick enough to beat Red Bull now. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff is optimistic about Mercedes' F1 future after the introduction of its latest upgrade at the United States Grand Prix, despite Lewis Hamilton's disqualification. The Brackley-based squad brought an updated floor to the event in a bid to boost its pace amid a challenging campaign. Hamilton was in contention for the victory on Sunday as he rapidly chased down Max Verstappen during the final laps before being forced to settle for 2nd place on the road before he was disqualified for excessive plank wear. This, and Charles Leclerc's 6th place, also being expunged, promoted George Russell to 5th as the W14 showed flashes of performance, but not enough to defeat Max Verstappen on the road. Speaking of the result before the news of Hamilton's technical failure was announced to Sky Sports F1, Wolff said, "It's just painful. The upgrade is working. I think it's a superb step, which was the direction that we were hoping would actually make it stick more, and it does. Directionally, I think it's a very good sign." Wolff praised Mercedes' gains in recent weeks, stating the upgrades helped the team in one particular area. "We need to take the positives. I hate losing races and the whole team is in pain," said Wolff. "But this is a circuit where a few races ago we wouldn't have performed because it's those fast sweeping corners where we were miserable in Suzuka. We were well here now. We're going to a few tracks that should make the car happier. I think the trajectory is right. We have 2 more weekends to go now so we can be quick to make it better." Mercedes team principal and CEO Toto Wolff revealed that his team had the car to beat Max Verstappen and win the United States Grand Prix in Austin, but lost the #1 position as a result of its strategy and slow pit stops. The Sunday race in Austin was by far Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton's most competitive race of the season, aside from the disqualification, which arrived after the latest floor upgrade on the W14 F1 car that helped it improve the car's pace quite dramatically. The upgrade has helped to the extent that Hamilton was able to maintain a gap of just 2.225 seconds between Red Bull's RB19 in front. However, Wolff claimed that gap might have been eliminated had the team not lost precious time in an extended first tire stint, followed by the slow pit stops. When he was asked by motorsport.com if he felt that the team now had a car good enough to win, Wolff said, "Yeah, I think the car was quick. Lewis drove fantastically, and if I count all the things that went against us, you could say, maybe we could have gone for a two-stop and just cover him, Verstappen, and I think both stops were not great. But it's an equipment topic and not a human. And then we lost 2 seconds behind Lando Norris and probably 1.5 seconds behind Ricciardo. But fair dues, this is how we race, and at the end, it wasn't sufficient. So, no blame." The team boss added that the most important factor that caused the race to slip away was to extend the first stint by pushing for a single stop, but that strategy fell apart quite badly. He continued, "On last 19 or 20, when Max pitted, we knew that we only needed to make 3 more laps to make a one-stop stick. Then the performance just went downhill massively, and that probably was one of the reasons that we couldn't monetize. But overall, I think we need to be happy with the performance." Wolff also admitted that the team was inclined toward an alternate approach since it felt there was hardly any point in challenging a dominant Verstappen with the same strategy. He concluded, "It certainly played a role in that we believed if we were on the same strategy, like Max, cover him, be a few seconds ahead of him, that would not be enough to win the race. And that's okay. He has been dominating all year, so that's a bit of a mindset you are taking into such a decision. With the one stop, we felt we could win, or there's more bigger chances to win. And at the end, the tire performance was not as we thought." The third story is Mercedes' vow to improve tardy F1 pit stops that cost Lewis Hamilton in United States Grand Prix. Toto Wolff has admitted Mercedes need to ramp up our game to avoid sluggish pit stops after a pair of tardy tire changes hurt Lewis Hamilton at the F1 United States Grand Prix. Prior to being disqualified for a plankwear breach, Hamilton had led Mercedes to their most competitive showing of a difficult 2023 season by finishing just 2.2 seconds behind Red Bull's Max Verstappen in Austin. 2 slow stops for the 7-time world champion, who ran an offset strategy to Verstappen, hampered his progress as he fell just short of challenging for a first victory since the 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Hamilton's pit stops were clocked at 3.6 and 3.4 seconds respectively. In contrast, Verstappen's fastest tire change was 2.5 seconds. Even the Dutchman's own slow second stop, by Red Bull's high standards, was quicker than both of Hamilton's at 3.3 seconds. Mercedes boss Wolff acknowledged that his team need to change their mindset around pit stops. "Our mindset in the last 12 years, we don't need to be world champions in pit stops," he said. "We need to avoid very slow pit stops. And it's coming to a situation now where we realize that it has got so competitive and we just need to ramp up our game up there. That's in terms of equipment and science around it and the way we are set up to avoid 3 or 3.5 seconds pit stops because all of that played a part." Hamilton had admitted that Mercedes' strategy and his slow pit stops had made his life more difficult. "I do think we would have been in a fighting position to fight with Max. I think we made our life a lot harder today than it probably needed to be," he said. "I think it was probably going to be hard anyway. I think overall, our starts this weekend, normally we have really great starts, but we struggled with our starts this weekend, so we lost ground more often than not. And I think in one of the pit stops, I might have been a bit long, which then made it harder for the guys, and then the stop wasn't that great overall. So there's lots of areas that we could have been better, but the positives are that we were, at points, matching them, Red Bull for pace, and to be only 2 seconds back afterwards at the end of the pace is, I think, a good sign." Running an upgraded Mercedes floor, USGP runner-up Hamilton proved particularly rapid during the final stint at the Circuit of the Americas to close to within 2.2225 seconds of winner Max Verstappen at the flag. Meanwhile, Leclerc was hamstrung by being the only finisher to undertake a one-stop strategy across the 56 laps, which left him vulnerable in the closing stages as he fell back to 6th place. However, random post-race floor checks were completed on the cars of Hamilton, Leclerc, Verstappen, and third-placed Lando Norris. The former two were found non-compliant. Accordingly, Hamilton and Leclerc have been disqualified. An FIA bulletin read, "During the hearing, the teams acknowledged that the measurement performed by the FIA technical team was correct and stated that the high wear on the skid pads was probably a result of the unique combination of the bumpy track and the sprint race schedule that minimized the time to set up and check the car before the race." The stewards note that the onus is on the competitor to ensure that the car is in compliance with the regulations at all times during an event. In this particular case, the rear skid in the area defined in the technical delegate's report was outside of the thresholds,